You ever feel like your memory is just a leaky bucket? In this age where we have information coming at us from all sides, it feels like we're losing the very things we want to hold on to the most. Well, today we're going to look at a fascinating ancient text that has a completely different take on how to strengthen our recall, and it has nothing to do with apps or algorithms. Okay, let's jump right in.
It is so frustrating, isn't it? That one crucial fact you needed for a meeting, or an important name, or even a treasured memory that just, poof, it's gone. In a world full of digital reminders, it sometimes feels like our own natural ability to remember is getting weaker. We all ask ourselves, why does my mind seem to fail me right when I need it most?
But what if the solution isn't just about mental tricks or playing brain training games? See, the source we're digging into today suggests a really holistic path to a better memory. It's one that connects what we eat, how we live, and even our spiritual state. It's like this whole integrated system for the mind. So let's start with the tangible stuff, the things you can literally consume. The text lays out several really specific traditional recommendations that are believed to physically help out your memory.
So on the list, we've got honey, cow's milk, and raisins, which we're going to look at in just a second. But it also includes things like Laban, which is frankincense, the Miswak cleansing stick, and Zamzam water. Each one is seen as this physical tool for the mind, all deeply rooted in tradition. So let's explore a few of these.
The first one is simple and, sweet. The scholar Zuhri is quoted giving this really direct advice. If you want to improve your memory, eat honey. It's presented as this beautiful, straightforward, and natural starting point for nourishing your mind.
Next up, cow's milk. So according to the text, a man once complained to Ali ibn Abi Talib about his forgetfulness, and this was the advice he got. And this right here, this is a perfect example of a key theme we're going to see over and over, this inseparable link between the health of your heart and the clarity of your mind.
Raisins also make the list with another piece of advice from Zuhri. And notice how specific this one is. It ties eating raisins directly to the really demanding goal of memorizing hadith, these secret narrations. It suggests this kind of targeted, almost tactical way of using food for specific learning challenges.
But, and this is a huge but, here's a crucial clarification. The text warns us not to see these foods as some kind of magic pill. Instead, it compares them to a powerful weapon. A weapon is totally useless without the skill and the discipline and the effort of the person using it. The tool is only as good as the hand that holds it. And this brings us to our next big idea, which kind of shifts from the what to the why. Because to really understand memory, the source insists we have to first get a handle on the nature of forgetting itself. And, well, it turns out it's not what you think. The text introduces this Arabic term nisyan, and here is this incredibly profound linguistic insight. Some scholars believe the actual word for human, insan, comes from this very same root. Just think about that for a second. The implication is that to be human is to be forgetful. It's literally written right into our name. And because it's so fundamentally human, forgetting isn't automatically a bad thing. The source presents it as a paradox. On the one hand, it's a blessing, right? It allows us to heal from grief. It gives our minds a chance to rest. But on the other hand, forgetting vital, sacred knowledge, that's seen as a huge misfortune, a real spiritual problem. To take that idea even deeper, the text introduces a spiritual dimension to those really significant memory lapses. It cites a verse from the Quran suggesting that when we forget things that are truly important, it isn't always neutral. It can actually be an active influence meant to lead us astray. Okay, so if forgetting has a spiritual side to it, well, it makes sense that the solution has to have one too. This is where the text moves beyond just diet and into the internal practices that can strengthen our ability to hold on to knowledge. So here's the game plan, this three-step approach for preparing your heart. First, you sincerely turn to God and ask for help. Second, you abandon sin, which is described as creating this kind of fog or cloud over the heart that knowledge just can't get through. And third, you constantly seek forgiveness to cleanse that internal slate, making it fertile ground for knowledge to actually take root. And get this, the text even gives you an immediate, actionable step for that awful moment you realize you've forgotten something. This Quranic verse is presented as a direct command. The second you forget, remember your Lord. That simple act is believed to immediately reconnect your mind to the source of all knowledge. And I really want to emphasize this is not treated lightly in the source material. Forgetting sacred knowledge is framed as one of the greatest calamities a person can face, and it's linked not to just bad luck, but to the direct consequences of their own choices and their spiritual state. All right, now we come to the final piece of the puzzle. This is where the spiritual and the practical really come together. The absolute, non-negotiable role of discipline and just relentless repetition. So the text shares this incredibly powerful story. Ali ibn Abi Talib, who was one of the most knowledgeable figures in Islamic history, he goes to the Prophet Muhammad with his problem that I think we can all relate to. He says he feels the Quran slipping away, that he just can't seem to make it stick in his heart. Now, the solution he was given wasn't some simple tip. It was a rigorous spiritual and mental discipline, a specific prayer, and a practice that he had to do consistently, week after week. It really highlights that you have to put in a structured, sustained effort. And the results? I mean, wow. They were just astonishing. Ali comes back and says that where he used to struggle with just 4 verses, he can now learn 40 at a time, and they feel as vivid as if the book of God is right before my eyes. It's just a stunning testament to the power of dedicated practice. To really hammer this point home, the source gives one more short, brilliant little story. A student is just painstakingly repeating his lesson over and over and over again when his neighbor calls out, "Hey, I've already memorized it just from listening to you." But a week later, the student asks her to recite it, and she can't remember a single thing. He, on the other hand, having carved it into his mind through hundreds of repetitions, knows it perfectly. The takeaway here is so clear. Shallow learning just disappears. Deep, lasting memory is only built through intense, hard work. And that really leaves us with a final thought from this ancient perspective. In our modern world, we're always rushing for life hacks and quick fixes. This text asks us to stop and consider a totally different path. What if a truly powerful memory isn't something you just hack, but something you cultivate through what you eat, through your discipline, and through the very state of your heart?